Alright, motorsport fans, welcome to HOSS. This weekend the V8 Utes are screaming around the Mont Tremblant circuit. We've crossed the border. We're at mid-Ohio last week. We've gone on up to Donald Trump's 51st state across the border, and we're looking forward to see some action in sunny Canada. So, guest driver this week, Lincoln Brunton. Got the Tier 2 cars coming out onto the track. They'll have a 8-minute qualifying session, and then we'll kick off for the sprint rounds that we're going to hold this evening. How you doing, B2?
Not too bad, thanks, mate. Good week.
Good week. Oh, don't know about the Formula One. McLaren didn't come through this week. The old Max Verstappen did pretty good, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
And Scotty McLaughlin put his machine on its lid, but luckily walked away.
Well, there was a few like that, wasn't there? Yuki Tsunoda in practice as well.
In the Formula One, yeah.
F1.
I guess you always probably get out, kiss the ground, shake the hand of the person that makes your helmet and your hands device. Anyway, we've got qualifying section, so Dylan Dalrymple's been doing quite well in the Tier 2 over the last few weeks.
Yeah, 100%. He's been right up the pointy end of the field, straight off the bat every week.
Yeah.
So I don't know what he's been eating for breakfast, but whatever it is, it's doing the trick.
Yeah, there it is there, the number 31 Brembo Falcon Ute. On screen shot there with Dylan. Just up under the bridge. A wee bit of understeer. As we've mentioned, it does take a lap or two depending on the length of the circuit to get the tyres for the Utes into the right operating window so they can put in a good time. Some of the short circuits, they're not putting in their best times till lap 2 or 3.
Yeah, at least some. Yeah, we've had lap 3 before.
So the circuit here a bit over 4Ks long, so probably just a lap or two for Dylan to get the tyres on the Brembo Falcon into the operating window. So first stake in the ground, Paul Lancaster, a 2:02, 2:04 for Adam Bell, 2:04 for Lincoln Brunton, our guest driver this week. Dallas Redhead going through in a 2:07, but just their first look at the clock at speed. Just looking on the board of fame above me there, we've got a couple of the Tier 1 drivers. Alex Sprague's done a 1:43, Shane Edgar doing a 1:44, Adam Bruce also on a 1:44. So that's the sort of target time we'll be looking for the Tier 1 drivers when they're out this evening. But
you were doing a bit of research there earlier on, Brendan. What was the lap record here?
Depends what circuit that we're racing on this evening. I see we're on the GT track, no chicane. Sebastian Bourdais in a Dallara, he's done a 1:17, so that's not too bad.
It's not too shabby, is it?
They have had Formula One here historically, not currently racing at the Mont Tremblant circuit. We might have one of those French students out there that got their School C French, might correct our pronunciation. So let's see what Mr. Dalrymple's going to do in the Brembo Falcon.
Getting a little bit loose there. Sort of upset that corner as well, leading into that. But still 2 purple sectors at the moment.
Yeah.
So a 1:47 there for Dylan Dalrymple. First lap in anger. Dallas Redhead on a 1:48.9, not too far behind. Paul Latu in third currently, although just been pushed back to fourth there as James Swaney slots into P2. 1:48.
So because we've got a longer circuit here, the sprint races this evening will be 6 laps long. So after the qualifying session for Tier 2, they'll have a 6-lap race based on their qualifying position, and then they'll have a 6-lap reverse grid race. And then we will head to the Tier 1 drivers. They'll do the same business. They'll have a qualifying session, then 2 6-lap races, and then we'll hit the repeat button. for Tier 2
Rinse and
then
repeat.
Tier 1. Yep, rinse and repeat. So our superstar in Tier 2, Dylan Dalrymple, is sitting at the top of the qualifying charts on a 1:47.2, 1.3 seconds back to James Swaney. He's on a 1:48, which he is sharing a 1:48 with Dallas Redhead and Paul Lancaster. So there's the HOSS machine running through. We've got the Kmart Ute giving pursuit. So hard braking zone off the end of the start-finish straight. Just seeing pulling over there, letting the number 51 Kmart entry past. So Dylan Dalrymple, he was on another hot lap doing a 1:46.5. Just over 2 minutes left to go in the qualifying session for the Tier 2 competitors. Or gets a little bit light over the brow. Holds on to it though.
Another one of those sweeping corners with the hump in the middle that's going to unsettle these Utes, as we've talked about in the past.
Yeah, we've had some good circuits like that over the last couple of weeks, haven't we? With a bit of undulation in them.
Yeah.
Don't find many of them like that in New Zealand.
You just
purple sector again there, B2 for Dylan.
Yeah, well, he'll well and truly have heat in his brakes and tyres now.
So minute 45 to go in qualifying session 1 for the Tier 2 competitors.
So that lap that Dylan has reeled off there is his quickest so far, up on the board there. Currently sitting 7th overall as far as quickest posted times goes.
So over the start finish line he goes again.
First purple sector there for James Swaney, currently sitting in P2. Just over a minute left in this quali session.
Yeah. As we've said, the HOSS chute looking very smart in the black and gold, should we say, JPS inspired livery.
Yeah, it's a colour combo you can't really go past.
Might even make a Lada look good, but we don't want to make promises we can't keep.
Sounds like a challenge.
Doesn't it? So 1:46.5 time to beat there for Dylan Dalrymple. Then we've got Lincoln Brunton in the Coca-Cola Holden. So guest driver
out in the grass, he's going to hit the fence.
Commentators curse, mention his name. Is he going to take out another driver? No, luckily the 51 Kmart entry goes through, as does the South Canterbury Removals Falcon. It's Paul Lancaster pedalling that machine. Shares it with Shane Edgar in the Enduro rounds. So through the S's goes Paul Lancaster, his best 1:48.547.
You're currently sitting in P13 on the big screen at the moment. As far as times go, is Paul Lancaster.
Yeah, there's Paul Artu in the Valvoline Holden. So Paul's best to 1:48.9. He's 2.4 seconds in arrears of Dylan Dalrymple, who's got 2 more purple first sectors, all getting a little bit loose there in the number 31 Brembo Falcon. Gathers it up though. Let's see if that's going to affect his lap time. So we're in overtime now. This could be the lap that stakes his claim. Gives the other drivers something to think about. So long way back to Jimmy Carroll, P8.
Here we go, about to find out. Yes. Another fastest lap for Dylan.
So there we go, Paul Lancaster in the South Canterbury Removals Falcon. A little bit wide there when you look at the racing rubber on the circuit through the S's.
Pretty similar line to Dylan actually, through that corner.
That puts Paul Lancaster up to P2 on a 1:47.
And he's just knocked back by Adam Bell. So
1:47.60 for Adam Bell, 1:47.63 for Paul Lancaster. There's Jimmy Carroll in the Jim Beam bonded Ford Falcon. So Cookie Monster and Elmo joining us once again in the Gatorade number 26 machine piloted by Dallas Redhead. All right, getting ready to launch. So we have seen over the last couple of weeks some of the drivers have had trouble getting their utes off the line. They're not allowed to pop them into gear till all the lights go out.
Yeah, that's right.
Some of them have just sat on the line and dialed it up, not gone anywhere.
And as we know in the Tier 2, that first corner sometimes is a bit of a challenge too, so we'll see how that goes.
All right.
The old red mist takes over.
So Dylan Dalrymple, Adam Bell on the front row. Lights are on. Brembo Falcon versus Kmart Holden. And we're away. Good start there for James Swaney in the HOSS machine. He gets it hooked up. Paul Lancaster gets a little bit loose on the South Academy Removals Falcon. But Dylan Dalrymple, he stakes his claim. Leading the Kmart machine of Adam Bell, James Swaney in the Falcon.
He'll go up the inside.
Yeah, he does. Goes through the inside, gets a better line. Leaves Adam Bell out to dry.
Oh, look out.
Some carnage there back in the field. Oh, Paul loops around the South Academy Removals machine.
Straight through the middle.
Awesome avoidance there by Jimmy Carroll and the Jim Beam bonded Falcon. So he's chasing Dallas Redhead. So Adam Bell, though, sitting in P3, started on the front row. He's let James Swaney through. And while these two dice, that's letting Dylan Dalrymple in the Brembo number 31 machine drive off down the road. He's 3 seconds ahead of this action.
And Lincoln Brunton, the other one that's the big winner out of all of that, up 4 spots.
Yeah, so young Lincoln, been doing quite well on the Mazda RX-8s.
Yeah.
He's coming to have a go in the V8 Utes in the sim racing down at HOSS in the arcade in Timaru. Do come on down and have a play. So Adam Bell all over the back of James Swaney in the HOSS Falcon. Rides the ripple strip. Will take a couple of laps though to get their tyres into the window so they can push on.
And Lincoln Brunton and Dallas Redhead just in the background there.
There we go, on-board shot from the Kmart Holden of Adam Bell in P3. So we can see Dylan Dalrymple, he's disappearing down the road. 3.6 seconds ahead of James Swaney. Up over the brow they go. Fast right-hander. Hard on the brakes. Through the S's goes Adam Bell in the 51 Kmart Holden. Trying to hunt down James Swaney in the HOSS Falcon. Lap 2 of 6 in the sprint rounds this evening. Just looking back to Lincoln Brunton in the Coca-Cola Holden. Dallas Redhead P5, Jimmy Carroll number 6 and the bonded machine. Paul Lancaster wasn't able to get the South Academy Removals Falcon off the line and he's been involved in some other people's action.
Yeah.
He's back in P7. But the action at the moment is James Swaney, Adam Bell. Adam gets up the inside.
I think he's on the wrong side of the track.
Yeah, into the hard braking zone they go. Just all over the bumper of James Swaney in the HOSS Falcon.
Oh, runs wide though. Didn't really hurt him too much.
Good battle going on. So Paul Artu's had a moment. He's 20 seconds at the back of the field in the Valvoline machine. Very tight line there for Adam Bell. Can he do anything? No, he hasn't got the inside line for the next left-hander.
Well, he's just got to carry that speed. Can't quite carry the speed through the corner. Took that tight line.
Yeah, so 1:45.94 race leader Dylan Dalrymple in the number 31 Brembo Falcon. James Swaney and Adam Bell into the 1:48s. This isn't going to end well if they both keep leaving the track there, B2.
No, it's not. Trying to go four-wheel driving.
Okay, through the tight S's. Right and left. So Paul Lancaster there on the back of Jimmy Carroll in the Jim Beam bonded Ford Falcon. So they are racing for 6th position on lap 3 at the Mont Tremblant circuit. 130 kilometres north of Montreal, apparently.
According to Dr. Google.
According to Dr. Google. So back into the race for P2. James Swaney's put a bit of a margin there on Adam Bell. He's got the gap out to 0.8 of a second. Just about out of the DRS zone, you could say.
Yeah. Adam Bell doing all he can to try and get back onto the bumper of James Swaney. Right up, almost off the ripple strip. Making that track as short as possible.
Yeah, good shot there out the back window of James Swaney, HOSS Ford Falcon. And closes up under braking, does James Swaney. Riding the curves. Unsettled the Holden a little bit as they come down the short straight.
Looks like Dallas Redhead might have had a wee moment there too. Jimmy Carroll's got past him, and I know there was about 3 seconds between them and the last lap.
So on to
There's
lap
Jimmy
4.
Carroll dropping back again.
Okay, spin there for Jimmy Carroll in the Jim Beam bonded Falcon. Pops him back to 7th. That was Lincoln Brunton just disappearing from shot in the Coca-Cola machine.
This James Swaney, Adam Bell battle still rages on for 2nd and 3rd place.
So putting Dylan Dalrymple in a good position in the championship. He is the leader in the Tier 2 field.
Here we go.
Ooh, look at that.
Move. And that's just unsettled Swaney as well, so it was enough to get him rattled, and Adam Bell's got the job done.
That's right. Not only has he got through, he's given himself some breathing space with that manoeuvre. Good clean pass. No contact. So Paul Lancaster got his front window full of the Cookie Monster and Elmo behind the Gatorade machine being piloted by Dallas Redhead. So the race is on for 5th and 6th. Just over a second between these two competitors in the Falcon Utes.
Into the 4th lap now, remembering only 6 laps this time around, as Brendan mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Much longer circuit.
So Paul gets the South Kennedy Removals Falcon up on the ripple strip, using all of the circuit. Just saw Dallas Redhead there grab a little bit of grass off the end of the ripple strips. So hard braking once again. Paul using all the circuit and a little bit more on the South Kennedy Removals machine. So how's young Lincoln Brunton doing? So his best is a 1:48.8. Sitting in P4. 3 seconds behind James Swaney, so he's still got the leaders in sight, and he's got a good margin over the Dallas Redhead Paul Lancaster battle. He's 11 seconds up the road from them. So doing all right as the super sub is young Lincoln.
He is.
This gets a little bit squirry under the brakes. Does the Coca-Cola Holden. Down the straight he goes, looking up to James Swaney in the HOSS machine. So Paul Lancaster closed the gap to Jimmy Carroll in the Jim Beam bonded machine.
And Jimmy Carroll's just got past him there, so whether Paul's had a wee moment, I don't know, because Jimmy Carroll spun in the last lap, so...
So I think Paul Lancaster has had a moment.
Yeah, I'm thinking that might be the case.
All right, so what's Paul's
looking at going up the inside.
1:49. Oh. A little bit of opposite lock there through the right-hander, but makes the pass. So he's now 11 seconds behind Dallas Redhead, and as you've noted previously, they were having a bit of a battle. They might get to see in the replays whether Paul was assisted to exit the circuit at any point. We wouldn't want to cast aspersions on anyone without seeing the evidence. Another fastest lap though for Dylan Dalrymple in the Brembo Falcon, a 1:45.8. So he's lapping good 3 seconds a lap faster than the rest of the field. Adam Bell in P2 and the Kmart machine haven't got past James Swaney in the HOSS Falcon.
And that's Dylan Dalrymple's fastest lap around the circuit so far.
So he's on lap 6 of 6. Paul Lancaster and Jimmy Carroll start their last lap. It's a little bit squealy over the brow, does Paul in the South Canterbury Removals Falcon. Jimmy Carroll exits the circuit unassisted in the Jim Beam bonded machine. And that lets through Paul Artu in the Valvoline V8 Ute. Lonely race now for Paul Lancaster in the South Canterbury Removals Falcon. And here's our race leader, Dylan Dalrymple. And the Brembo Falcon.
Once again.
Oh, commentator's curse.
Didn't even mention his name.
No.
Well, you probably did earlier on, but he's done that all on his own, although having a nearly 14-second buffer. He can afford to have the odd whoopsie.
Just doing it for entertainment. So there goes P2 man Adam Bell and the number 15 Kmart Holden. Lincoln Brunton and Coca-Cola Holden, number 8, having a good test drive this evening.
So yeah, Lincoln Brunton, he's finished four spots up there, so a good race from him. I know there's a bit of carnage earlier on in the race. So
Paul Lancaster's managed to shut down Dallas Redhead, was over 12 seconds in arrears. So Dallas has possibly had a moment.
So not going to have enough time to get anything done, so ends up in 6th spot, does Lancaster.
There is Jimmy Carroll in the Jim Beam bonded machine. So back to P8. He's had a couple of moments of his own doing,
yes,
or undoing, we should say.
So let's grid him up again. Reverse grid this time.
Okay, so that puts Jimmy Carroll, Paul Artu on the front row. Paul Lancaster, Dallas Redhead. And then Lincoln Brunton, James Swaney, Adam Bell. Dylan Dalrymple's got it all to do from the back of the field in the Brembo Falcon. Just waiting for the lights to come on. So short 6-lap race. What can Dylan do from the back of the field? Lights are on. And we're away racing. Oh, a slow start there from Paul Artu in the Valvoline machine. Dallas Redhead goes to the outside. A little bit of a
wee bit of a nudge there, maybe.
A little bit of a nudge.
Here we go.
Here's a bigger bit of a nudge.
Oh.
I think our driving standards officiator pretty well. He's going to have a little bit of a look at that later on. I feel a little bit of a penalty in the air, perhaps. That's allowed Paul Lancaster and the South Canterbury Removals Falcon to get out in front of Jimmy Carroll in the Jim Beam bonded machine. Then we're back to James Swaney in the HOSS Falcon. He's got Dylan Dalrymple already up to P4. Just a couple of laps. A couple of corners into the first lap.
Yeah, right on James Swaney's tail. Dalrymple will have the pressure on him right from the get-go. With Jimmy Carroll's had another off-track excursion.
Yeah, so he's thrown that away. Dylan Dalrymple up to P2. James Swaney P3. Adam Bell now sitting in P3 in the Kmart machine. He's got the inside line. He's going to get a good drive out of the right-hander, but he takes him behind Dylan Dalrymple, who's now off hunting Paul Lancaster of the South Canterbury Removals Falcon. Good seconds up the road though is Paul Lancaster. He's made the most of a good start, stayed out of everybody else's incidents.
Yes, well, hopefully he can keep it there. He has been driving well these last few weeks.
Yes. So Lincoln Brunton, he's sitting in P7 in the Coca-Cola Holden. Jimmy Carroll at the back of the field now in the Jim Beam bonded machine after having a little excursion.
Paul Lancaster just extending that lead at the moment. 1:59 there for a standing lap for him. All the rest well over the 2-minute mark.
So can Paul Lancaster make hay while the sun shines? Can Dylan Dalrymple, who's been our star driver in Tier 2 in the Brembo Falcon, hunt him down? We shall wait and see. 5 laps to work it out. There's Dallas Redhead in the Gatorade number 26 Falcon. He's on the hammer of James Slaney in the HOSS machine. Just takes a wider line.
Not quite close enough to make any impression.
Don't do anything from there. Dallas Redhead going left to right, taking different lines. Just trying to give James Slaney plenty to think about in his mirrors. A bit loose there.
Oh, and he's done that too.
He has. James Slaney's looped it round. Paul Latu took avoiding action in the Valvoline machine, as has Lincoln Brunton. They got around without having a touch. Meanwhile, Dylan Dalrymple trying to hunt down Paul Lancaster. He's got the gap down to 1.3 seconds.
He has. He's made huge inroads in that last lap.
Make the most in clear air. Under the overbridge they go. Paul Lancaster will be aware that he's being hunted. Climb up the hill. Into the heavy braking zone, into the right-hand hairpin. So, just under a second between these two competitors. Starting lap 3. So 1:49 for Paul Lancaster, 1:47 for Dylan Dalrymple. That's where the closing gaps come from.
Just looking out the back now of Paul Lancaster's ute. Back towards Dylan Dalrymple in P2.
Yeah, and there's Adam Bell there, P3 in the number 15 Kmart Holden. Tribute to, of course, the Kiwi legend that's Gregory Murphy. So different lines there from Dylan Dalrymple. Just slowly closing down the gap. Maybe just over a third of a second. Dylan Dalrymple to Paul Lancaster.
Paul Lancaster making that ute very wide.
Just needs to keep a nice tight line. Make Dylan Dalrymple do all the work.
Yeah, actually Adam Bell's caught up onto the back of these guys now too. Just half a second, or 1.5 seconds back from Dalrymple.
So will the two leading protagonists overdrive, make a mistake? Oh, Adam Bell there, right on the bumper of Dylan Dalrymple now. It's going to become a three-way race.
And that could potentially work in Paul Lancaster's favour if Dalrymple's got a mirrors full of Adam Bell, and look at that, I've put the commentator's curse on him. That did work in Paul Lancaster's favour. Yeah.
The driving standards officiator Billy Rowley was looking right at that. There's not going to be any escaping that one.
Very subdued in the background, didn't hear any F-bombs or anything going on.
These are all gentlemen drivers, BT.
We have. We've had a redress.
So Adam Bell's let Dylan Dalrymple through. Paul Latu though, good showing there in the Valvoline machine in P4.
Dallas Redhead going for a four-wheel drive safari there.
Off-track excursion. I don't think the Ford did that Falcon in a four-wheel drive. They just had the territories, didn't they?
Well, if you go back into the 1970s, they actually did.
The XYs?
The XY four-wheel drive, they did. They made a few factory ones.
Bet you they were great on gas.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
A friend of ours did have a Holden four-wheel drive wagon V8, and so it was a great machine.
The Ventura.
Yeah, the Ventura, that's it. It was a great machine until he took it to the petrol station. Anyway, Paul Lancaster. He's got the gap out to 3 seconds now over Dylan Dalrymple as this battle goes on between the other chasers. Paul Artu all over the back of Adam Bell. Dylan Dalrymple further up the road. So Paul Lancaster on lap 4 of 6. We might be able to make something happen here.
Don't put the mockers on him.
No, a little bit of understeer there from Paul Artu. Sort of a very tight right hand here from downhill in a braking zone.
So fastest lap there to Dylan Dalrymple at 1:46.4. Lancaster doing 1:49s. That gap now dropping once again down to about 2 seconds.
So further back in the field, looks like we've got a bit of a battle going on between James Stone and Jimmy Carroll. They're just over a second apart. And you're looking back to Adam Bell and Paul Artu in P3 and 4. Dylan Dalrymple, what can he do?
Well, just
Lap it, just over a lap left to go.
right up onto the back there of Lancaster in that braking zone.
So back to 0.6 of a second. So on-board shot now from the chaser, Dylan Dalrymple, in the Brembo Falcon. Up the hill. Under the overbridge they go. Just a wee bit of a tail wag there from Paul Lancaster in the South Canterbury Removals Ford Falcon. So coming up into the hard braking zone, into the hairpin. And Dylan Dalrymple get a good drive out of here. Oh, he gets a little bit squirrely too.
Yeah, got a tight line there from Dylan.
Yep, so Paul Lancaster starts the last lap. Currently in the lead, 0.5 of a second up the road from race 2. Dylan Dalrymple, who we're riding with at the moment in the Brembo Falcon. Just pulls up under brakes. Doesn't want to give him a punt, no. But Aurelia driving standards officiators looking on intently at this battle. We have had the results of races decided over previous weeks by the application of penalties.
We have, yeah. Right up on the bumper now.
So if Dylan Dalrymple goes through, he's going to make the pass a clean one. So Paul Lancaster taking a very nice tight line there through the right-hander.
He's going to make that ute into a wide body.
Yeah. Got a few of the Tier 1 drivers are watching this race intently. Adam Bell wants some action too. He wants to be part of the party in the number 51 Kmart machine.
Well, as we saw earlier, it all turned to custard a bit for these two guys. While Dalrymple was chasing down Lancaster, so that might again work in Paul Lancaster's favour.
Yeah.
Just take that pressure off slightly.
Yeah, so Paul Lancaster's pulled out of 1/10 of a second over P2. Good shot out the back of the South Canterbury Removals Falcon, looking back at Dylan Dalrymple and Adam Bell. P2 and 3. Oh, right up there on the ripple strip goes Adam Bell. Gets a good run on. He's trying to get past.
Yep.
Oh, Dylan Dalrymple around the outside.
Oh!
Can he do anything?
Go around the outside.
No, it's a long way around there.
Yeah.
So, a lot closer though together though, P1, 2 and 3.
No, there will be Paul Lancaster taking the chocolates. Good drive from him, Dylan Dalrymple in second, Adam Bell finished third, Paul Artu, Lincoln Brunton.
There we go, we're riding with James Swaney and the HOSS machine. Dallas Redhead goes through that tight hairpin. And the number 26 Gatorade machine giving Cookie Monster and Elmo a ride. So, well done, Mr. Lancaster.
Great drive.
In the South Canterbury Removals Falcon, he takes the win. Good drive though from Dylan Dalrymple to come through from P8 up to P2.
Yeah, 7 spots all the way up there. Just couldn't quite get it done, but a good fight also between himself and Adam Bell for second and third place.
Okay, so does Billy Rowley want to have a little look at that incident at the beginning of the race? Let's see what he thinks of the carnage that ensued.
Oh, there we go.
So all the drivers just enjoying the highlights from that exciting finish. There's Adam Bell on the tail of Dylan Dalrymple looking up the road to Paul Lancaster. Here we go into the hard braking zone. There we go. Luckily for Adam, he did a redress on the circuit and let Dylan Dalrymple go through. So, good sportsmanship there from Adam Bell.
Yeah.
Saved him a 15-second penalty for sure. All right, so now we will have our qualifying session for the Tier 1 field. Let's see what they can do. As we mentioned on the leaderboard, those that have been practicing at Mont Tremblant, Alex Sprague leads the timing charts on a 1:43.6. Shane Edgar second on a 1:44.8. Andrew Bruce on a 1:44.9. So let's see what the hot shots can do for their qualifying session this evening. But good win there for Paul Lancaster in the South Canterbury Removals machine in the Tier 2 field.
Yeah, I'll be very happy with that. He's had, as I said earlier, had some good results in the last few weeks.
Yeah, he's trying to redeem himself. He blew a motor, I think, in the Enduro.
Yeah, that was the first round.
So anyway, we've got the Tier 1 drivers out on the circuit. And we've got the Kmart machine already out in the boondocks. The number 15 Holden. Alright, so 8-minute qualifying session for our Tier 1 field. It looks like the bonded machine there's just getting a little bit of a push from the HOSS Falcon. A little bit of bump drafting, isn't that what they call it in NASCAR?
Something like that.
So Alex Sprague and the number 56 Milwaukee machine. Of course, take a lap or so to get their tyres in the operating window.
Yeah, we just want to put himself out into some clear air.
Yeah.
So we'll take a lap or two to get some heat into the tyres, probably only about one, I would imagine, 1 to 1.5, as we were talking about earlier. So, some people are just quite good on the cold tyres as well. As Paul Lancaster's pretty good on the cold tyres. We saw that before. Seems to be pretty quick out of the box.
Well, there was a bit of carnage, wasn't there, early on in race 2 for the Tier 2 competitors, and Paul Lancaster got through, drove away. Dylan Dalrymple did come through from P8. Put a lot of pressure on Paul on a couple of occasions, but couldn't break him.
No, managed to hold on there. Even the commentator's curse couldn't break him.
That's right. So
mental fortitude.
He didn't get that on the school report, did he?
I'm picking not.
Okay. Ooh, a little bit of carnage there. That's Shane Edgar, who's driving the South Canterbury Removals machine in the Tier 1 field. He hooks it up though. That's Mitch Hamilton in it this evening. Oh, got the HOSS machine out the scenery. And gets it back on track.
Carried plenty of speed through there.
Yeah. Didn't take the gentle out of it, did he?
No. Oh, he's out visiting the scenery again. There's something interesting out there.
Well, he's not on a rally course. He's on a circuit where ideally you do want to stay between the right lines. In a rally, you just need to stay between the fences, really.
That's right.
So, purple first sector for Alex Sprague there in the number 56 Milwaukee machine. Up the hill he goes. So what can young Alex Sprague do on a hot lap? Oh, getting a little bit squirrely.
I don't think it cost them much though. Four-wheel drifting around that corner.
Didn't take the handle out of it. Purple second sector for Alex Sprague in the Milwaukee Falcon. Okay, into the downhill right-hand hairpin he goes. So with the the laps on the leaderboard, it would be quite interesting to see how many practice laps some of these competitors have done during the week while they're learning the circuit.
Yes, as we've talked about over the weeks, that there's quite a few guys do come down here and spend a fair bit of time here, and they've also got some pretty good sim rigs at home. Bit flash of my one hooked up to my PS2.
So 144.5 first hot lap for Alex Sprague, 146.9 first hot lap for Mitch Hamilton, and 147.4 for Andrew Bruce. Oh, there goes the HOSS machine out in the scenery once again.
Just wondering if there's a few scantily clad ladies hiding over the top of the fence there behind the arm car or something. He's going out for a wee look.
Yeah. So we haven't had anyone in the zoo since we've been to the Czech Republic. All the fans at these other circuits are a bit tame by comparison.
Well, I see this one's got a bit of a sort of a campground there with some tents and that, a la Bathurst. Maybe they've got some bearsies buried up on the side of the hill there.
What do you think the Canadians might limit them to a 24 pack per day as well?
Oh, they might do.
So you've got that V8 singing into the hairpin. A little bit of opposite lock there for Alex Sprague coming out of the right-hander. Gets it all gathered up though. 144.2 for the number 56 Milwaukee machine. So there's Andrew Bruce. He goes up to P2 on the qualifying board. 146.8. 2.5 seconds though behind Alex Sprague. There's Mitch Hamilton running the South Canterbury removals machine this evening. There's Billy Manson. Oh, and the Victoria bit of Holden.
Again, kept the jandle up it.
That's right.
Kept it going.
Okay, so we do need to mention that Billy Manson has not had any practice at this circuit. So he's learning the circuit as he goes. So then P6 probably isn't too shabby. Still waiting for Johnny Small though to post the time. So just minute 40 odd left to go for the Tier 1 field. There is Johnny Small in the HOSS machine.
Trying to do it Liam Lawson styles and leave it right to the last minute.
Oh, here we go. Who's that going backwards? The Gatorade machine. Giving Cookie Monster and Elmo a little bit of excitement in the number 26 Gatorade Falcon.
I think it'd be Morgan Dorr, I think, is in that vehicle today.
Okay, so 147.7 for Morgan Dorr. Currently sitting 7th on the qualifying leaderboard. So Alex has done a 1:43.6 in practice.
Andrew Bruce getting a bit loose around that right-hander. Just had to brake and reset himself.
It does go up to P2 though, 1:45.7. Still 1.4 seconds though in arrears of young Alex Sprague in the Milwaukee Falcon. Looks like Billy Manson might have the Victoria Bidder Holden hooked up a little bit more. Still grabs a bit of grass though over the fast part of the circuit over the brow.
Seems to be quite a common line, that one out there.
Yeah. Turn to carnage though if they got it crossed up. So he's on the back of Mitch Hamilton in the South Canterbury Removals Falcon. So we're just counting down now for the end of the qualifying session for the Tier 1 field. Doesn't look like anyone's going to threaten young Alex Sprague. Andrew Bruce sitting in a P2 on 1:45.7, 1:45.9 for Braden Carroll. Nick McPherson sitting P4, just riding on board with Billy Manson in the Victoria Bidder machine. So he's got up to 6th fastest. Let's see if he can do anything better on his last hot lap. Got that V8 singing. Floats it over the ripple strip through the right-hander into the left. Just a wee bit of understeer, then a bit of opposite lock under the overbridge.
They're just easing that throttle down. Be very careful with these not to stand on it. It'll just you lose the back end.
Okay, so he's into the
Speaking of which,
Johnny Smalls up there in the back of the shot, looping around the HOSS machine. So 1:45.795. Billy Manson manages to get the Victoria Bidder Holden into the top 3.
Looks like that's where it's going to stay too.
Alrighty, so we'll have Alex Sprague, Andrew Bruce on the front row. 6 laps sprint race at Mont Tremblant.
Keep practicing that French.
It's easy to say Renault and Citroën. Wonder if we can learn what we think of Donald Trump to say that in French. If we were swearing, people wouldn't know. Alrighty, lights are on. Getting ready for a launch for the first round this evening for the Tier 1 competitors. Alex Sprague, Andrew Bruce on the front row.
All off the line pretty cleanly by the looks of it.
So it should be Alex Sprague does leave Andrew Bruce and Billy Manson through the first right-hand sweeper. Over the brow they go. Cleanly so far. Tier 1 drivers giving everyone a little bit of racing room. Oh, we've got the Brembo machine just hang out to dry there. Johnny Small around the inside. But Alex Sprague already way up the road from Andrew Bruce and the Jim Beam bonded machine, who's got Braden Carroll in the Kmart Holden all over his bumper. Billy Manson, so Billy qualified P3, has been pushed back to P4 on the first lap of 6 for the Tier 1 field. Aerial shot there of them.
Ooh, getting a bit loose there. Managed to gather it in and keep it on the straight and narrow.
So Billy Manson just hanging on the outside there of Braden Carroll. He's going to have the insider for the right-hander. It's a little bit loose. Can he keep it under control? He does.
He's going to try and go right around the outside, hold that line.
Up the hill.
A little touch there maybe. Still side by side. Still holding on. Keeping to that right-hand side of the track. He'll have the right line heading into this corner, and makes the pass stick.
Yeah. Just single file through the right-handed hairpin. Billy Manson, P3.
Braden Carroll not giving up without a fight though.
It's also Mitch Hamilton wants some of the action as well in the South Canterbury Removals Falcon. Johnny Mitchell's not that far further back either. You just see Nick McPherson in the Brembo machine, Morgan Dorr there at the back of the field.
Here we are with Braden Carroll. Just getting up alongside Billy Manson once again.
Billy just trying to squeeze him out through the left-hander. So Braden needs to take his foot out of a bit so they don't touch. So through the fast right-left hand combination. Now looking at the back of Braden Carroll's machine. To Mitch Hamilton in the South Canterbury Removals Falcon. Oh, Johnny Small going to have another off-track excursion, a little bit of understeer there. And the HOSS Falcon. That's allowed McPherson to get up beside him and get on through. Mitch Hamilton just having a little look down the inside as they come into the braking zone. Not close enough on the bumper though of the Kmart number 51 Falcon to pull off a passing manoeuvre there. And they ride the left-hand ribble strip once again.
I think Mitch Hamilton's just got the pressure on Braden Carroll slightly, and that's working in Billy Manson's favour.
Yeah, Billy's just...
Although Billy running wide, I've got to put the knockers on him.
So 1:43.9 for Alex Sprague. Still not his best. He's done a 1:43.6 in practice. Only just 2 laps completed though of the 6-lap sprint race.
Oh, both getting pretty wobbly over the top of that brow there on the downhill side.
Yeah, Braden Carroll's definitely pushing hard. He's trying to give Billy Manson something to think about in the Victoria bit of Holden. There we go, there's at the back of Billy's rear window, just looking over the Bob Jane T-Mark deck. And we can just see further back there Mitch Hamilton in the South Canterbury Removals machine.
You feel the even gap between all these 5 cars in the shot there, or 6 cars?
Yeah, so Alex Sprague now over a 4-second lead over Andrew Bruce. So he's just in front of Billy Manson. There goes Andrew Bruce in the Jim Beam bonded Falcon. He's putting in good times, 1:45.3. He's the best of the rest with the 1:43.9 for Alex Sprague in the number 56 Milwaukee Ford Falcon Ute.
Morgan Dorr just getting past Johnny Small down the rear of the field there, up into 7th position.
Or to Johnny Small, go a bit wide somewhere perhaps. Let Morgan Dorr through. So 1:43.5 for Alex Sprague. That is the fastest lap for the V8 Utes. Getting very loose over the brow there, young Alex, but keeps his foot in it. Under no pressure, he's nearly 6 seconds up the road from Andrew Bruce in P2. So there goes Andrew Bruce. So Billy Manson just under 2 seconds in arrears in P3.
He's just opened up that gap back to Braden Carroll.
Managed to drive away. Looks like Mitch Hamilton, Nick McPherson. That could be the closest action on the circuit at the moment. So focusing on Andrew Bruce and the Jim Beam bonded machine. Oh, Nick McPherson goes out onto the grass as we say that.
Didn't quite lose enough time to fall into the clutches of Morgan Dorr though.
Yeah, and then Johnny Small, 11 seconds in arrears of the field in the HOSS Falcon. There is Nick McPherson in the Brembo machine that Dylan Dalrymple was using so well in the Tier 2 field earlier on this evening. Besides the ripple strip going through the left-hander. So he's got Mitch Hamilton just over 3 seconds up the road. Gets a little bit wide there, does Nick McPherson, not taking the ideal line. That will allow Morgan Dorr and the Gatorade machine to close up. Oh, Mitch Hamilton's just passed the
come to a
Falcon.
stop.
Oh, blown engine. Blown engine there for the South Canterbury Removals machine. Missed gear change.
They've done a quick engine transplant, got him back out on the track.
Yeah, I wonder what a new crate V8's worth for one of them. So there is Nicholas McPherson now up to P5 in the Brembo machine. So Braden Carroll P4, Billy Manson, there he goes in the Victoria Brita number 24 Holden. He's got his sights well set on Andrew Bruce, just under 1.4 seconds up the road.
That gap was closing sort of earlier on, but it's managed to stay reasonably steady. It's sort of 1.5 odd seconds.
So Alex Sprague still easing away from the field, a little bit slower.
Oh! Once again, I've put the mockers on him.
Yeah, master of his own destiny, Andrew Bruce. Drops from P2 back to P4.
We've got a lot to answer for, haven't we? Mark Manson giving us the blame for that one.
Yeah, maybe we could take money off people and just start talking them up.
Yeah.
A little bit of a sideline.
It's like match fixing.
Yeah, just like match fiction, only more entertaining. All right, though, there is the race leader. He's on lap 6 of 6.
Just having a bit of fun there, I think.
Alex Sprague. So has done a fastest lap in this race, a 1:43.5 to set the fastest lap in the Milwaukee Falcon number 56. 10 seconds up the road from Billy Manson in the Victoria Bitter machine. On the brakes into the right-hander, there goes P2, Billy Manson. Doing a good job in the Victoria Bitter Holden. There's Braden Carroll in the number 51 Kmart machine. And Andrew Bruce had a very solid P2, master of his own destiny. Back to P4. And Morgan Dorr in the Gatorade machine, he's sitting P6, giving Cookie Monster and Elmo a ride. So Johnny Small was at the back of the field, but has benefited from the blown engine. Oh, Mr. Small.
You've done it again.
Yeah, looping up the HOSS machine. So where was the fiver? Who was I getting money from for that one? So race leader, Alex Sprague in the Milwaukee Falcon. He got the lead out to 11.2 seconds. He's going to take the race win. There's Billy Manson, Braden Carroll going through the tight right-hand hairpin. And the Victoria Bitter machine and the Kmart machines respectively. So Andrew Bruce in the Jim Beam bonded machine. He's going to rue that moment. There's some points for the championship that have gone wanting.
Good drive from Morgan Dorr, up 3 positions.
Yeah, so
what's going to happen here? Can Mitch Hamilton get past Johnny Small at the final? And yes, he will. No, he won't. I beg your pardon.
He's a lap down.
He's a lap down. You're right.
Yeah. Did take a lap to swap that V8 out. Still a pretty good effort though from the South Canterbury Removals machine. All right, so now we've got a reverse good race. Mitch Hamilton, Johnny Small on the front row. Morgan Dorr, Nicholas McPherson and Andrew Bruce, Braden Carroll row 3 at the back of the field will have the VB machine of Billy Manson and the Milwaukee machine. Oh, it's
And
night
the sun's
time there,
gone
Billy
down.
Rowley. See, we've got the headlights going on. We're going to have a race under lights by the look.
The one there's only got his park lights on.
Yeah,
Lights out.
away we go. It's actually quite hard to watch the night racing looking at the big screen, but when you see what the drivers see, the headlights do illuminate the track rather well.
Yeah, it's quite a different view you see on the Sims. Oh, we've got dawn again. We're back.
Just like the hand of God, really, but it's Johnny Small, Mitch Hamilton, Morgan Dorr.
Well, we've got a bit of buffet going
there
on
we
in the
go.
middle of the pack.
The driving standards officiator might need to look at that one. So Johnny Smalls managed to make the most of that. He's kept out of the carnage at the front of the field.
And we've got the Eclipse back again.
Yeah.
It's reversed itself, and we've got more carnage going on.
That was the no, that's the Gatorade
That's
machine.
the Gatorade. That'll be Morgan Dorr.
Elmo and a Cookie Monster going for a big spin there under the lights. Okay. I must say the Tier 2 drivers aren't being very sympathetic there, B2. We hear them in the background
Oh no.
offering their thoughts.
Bit of grief.
Billy Manson though, P2 in the Victoria Bitter machine. And he's got Alex Sprague on his bumper in the number 56 Milwaukee Falcon.
And the two of them up 6 places already.
Yeah, so
After all the carnage that's ensued already, half a lap in.
yeah, so Johnny Small in the HOSS Falcon leading the field by 2 seconds on lap 1 of 6. There's Billy Manson, Alex Sprague.
Sprague left and right. They're going to go around the outside, but Manson will make that ute pretty wide.
He will, but if Alex can hang there, he's going to have the insider.
Get it done.
Yeah, for the left-hander. He pulls off the move. So 157 for a standing start from Johnny Small. 159s for Alex Sprague and Billy Manson.
Got Morgan Dorr out of the seat, telling us it's his engine's got no rods left in it.
Is it another missed gear change, was it? For Morgan Dorr. I know we could have a market here for some racing crate motors. Hamish from HOSS just saying that the crate motors actually are quite cheap here.
Quick change and cheap.
Yeah. So we're just watching Nicholas McPherson there all over the back of Andrew Bruce.
Although Andrew Bruce has just picked up that position there over Nick McPherson. So
we go, Johnny Small still leading the field, but Alex Sprague will have his hunting eyes on. He's just 7/10 of a second in arrears. We can see him out the back there of Johnny Small's HOSS Falcon. Oh, a little bit loose there. He's going to lose a bit of drive going up the hill there, will Johnny Small. Then we can see Alex Sprague in the mirrors all over the back of the HOSS Falcon. Just trying to hang around the outside.
Crisscross him here and go up the inside. I think he's probably going to carry enough speed. Oh,
he lost it.
He did well to drag that back in. Well done.
So that would have given Billy Manson some wide eyes in the Victoria Bitter Holden.
It actually didn't really cost him that much time.
Yeah, good job there for Alex Sprague to keep hold of the Milwaukee Falcon, the number 56 machine. Oh, he's just sitting on the inside there of Johnny Small in the HOSS Falcon.
We touch there.
Yeah, doesn't want to push the other driver off because Billy Rowley's watching this action very closely. He's not shy of handing out 15-second penalties if he think things have gone a little bit pear-shaped, but
Billy Manson in on the action now too, looking at going around the outside. Not a lot of room through there, but manages to keep it between the ditches.
yeah, Braden Carroll, don't leave him out. He's They're watching all the action very intently in the number 15 Kmart Holden. He's going to be the winner if something goes astray between Johnny Small and Billy Manson. So Johnny Small just sitting on the inside here for the next right hand.
Oh, another squeeze. And another touch as well as they go around the corner.
So Braden Carroll's got a good drive on there in the Kmart machine. He had to lift his foot out of it though.
Trying hard.
He is trying very hard, all three of these drivers.
Oh, we've had our first F-bomb of the night.
But Alex Sprague though is now up to P1. And he's going into the right-hander that he had a big moment on the last lap, but managed to gather it up again. So all the drivers through keenly through the left-hand sweeper they go. Down the short start finish straight.
Fastest lap of the race. Alex Sprague, 1:44.9.
So
still a second and a half off his best, but
out and clear here now. He'll be getting his tyres into that operating window. So hard on the brakes there for all three of these competitors.
So
Braden Carroll just be hoping that Billy might give Johnny a little bit of a nudge.
I was thinking the same thing.
Taking them both off the circuit.
Racing at very close quarters at the moment. Billy just having a wee bit of a look around the driver's side, but not quite close enough to do anything. Chris crosses round the other side, and again, left and right.
Some more language there, but Billy Manson up to P2 in the Victoria Bitter Holden.
And now Braden Carroll wants in on the action as well.
He certainly does, and then don't count out Andrew Brees, he's only a second further down the road in the Jim Beam bonded machine. There we go, now riding with Andrew Bruce in P5. Looking at the action ahead for Johnny Small now.
And Braden Carroll goes through on Johnny Small, up into that third position.
So what can Andrew Bruce do? Do you think he can come to the party as well?
Well, look at that, he's just got right up close there within a couple of ute lengths.
Yeah, we can see up the road Alex Sprague once again taking the Milwaukee machine through the hairpin.
Oh, Bruce is a fly.
Well done, Andrew Bruce.
No, it was all on his own.
Yeah, Andrew Bruce though kept out of the way, kept his momentum up, got through. That puts Johnny Small back to P6, was leading this race. So Nicholas McPherson, he's inherited P5 in the Brembo machine. That's a little bit of a gift for him.
So Alex Sprague now up onto that fast lap pace, as you said before, and down in the 1:43s, only a couple of tenths off his fastest lap of the night. Yes. Out in that clear area.
So 1:43.50 is Alex's best lap this evening. There's Johnny Small once again in the HOSS Falcon. He's at the back of the field by virtue of Morgan Dorr having a little bit of an issue trying to keep the pistons inside the block. So riding with Nick McPherson there. Andrew Bruce, P4 in the Jim Beam bonded Falcon. We can see Braden Carroll up the road in the number 15 Kmart machine. Billy Manson sitting in P2 in the Victoria Bitter Holden. There is race leader on lap 5 of 6, Alex Sprague. Took the first race out for the Tier 1 competitors this evening. He's come from the back of the field to lead the second race, the reverse grid race for the Tier 1 competitors.
Just opened up that lead to 5.5 seconds, 1:43.4. That's actually his quickest lap of the night, Alex Sprague.
Yeah, so he starts lap 6 of 6 for the second sprint race this evening for the Tier 1 competitors. There's Andrew Bruce goes through in P4 in the Jim Beam bonded Falcon. Just gets a little bit light and a bit twitchy coming over the brow.
Yeah, pushing it pretty hard.
And he does the same into the braking zone. He's trying to edge up onto the bumper of Braden Carroll in the number 15 Kmart machine. You can just see Braden disappearing out of the shot there. With a big left-hand sweeper they go.
So let's see whether Andrew Bruce has got enough time to be able to even get onto the back. It's one thing getting there, it's another thing getting past.
It just looks like Andrew Bruce might be overdriving the Falcon a little bit there. It's getting a little bit out of shape. And you see Braden Carroll's just keeping nice, neat lines in the Kate Mart-Hold in the number 15 machine.
And of course what the drivers see that we don't see is that they have little tyre gauges in the bottom corner of their screen to tell them the condition of their tyres. So you may find that if the cars get pushed too hard, that they'll get one tyre that will start to go off.
So Andrew Bruce perhaps has pushed his ute a little bit harder earlier in the race, allowing the competitors at front of him just to have a little bit better time of it near the end. But there is race leader Alex Sprague, going to make it 2 from 2 this evening in the Milwaukee Falcon. Billy Manson's going to take a very good P2 in the Victoria Bitter Holden. Braden Carroll goes through P3, P4 for Andrew Bruce. There's Nick McPherson in the Brembo Falcon. He's going to take P5. So Mitch Hamilton, he managed to keep the pistons on the inside of the block this time for the South Canterbury Removals Falcon Ute.
Rounding out the field will be Johnny Small. So unfortunate race for him. So there we have it.
So there we go. Two races for Tier 2, 2 races for Tier 1.
Yeah, we'll have Billy Rowley now, just our driver standards adjudicator, just reviewing the race.
Yeah,
sure that there was no
a little bit of discussion about some incidents in the first lap. So Billy Rowley's just going to have a wee look there to see if anything that raises his interest. So all the drivers got away pretty well.
Yeah, it was about quarter of a lap in that things started to turn to custard.
But no, nothing too untoward there. So we're just looking from the back.
This is it here. Where it starts, is it? Yes.
Yeah, who was giving the South Canterbury Removals machine a little bit of a punt from the back there?
I think Morgan Doyle wants to see some pistons tumbling up the road.
Oh, yeah. Was it? Yeah, Nicholas McPherson, was it? Just trying to make a gap that might not have been there. That sounded like it was the pistons trying to get outside of the block there.
So there's one.
It's not too bad. Oh, that one is a bit nasty.
Yeah. So was it I think it was the Sesame Street car hit the back of the...
So I think Billy Rowley's made a call, so we're thinking it might have been Nicholas McPherson was the villain there, Billy? Yep. Okay. Driving standards adjudicators made a call. Hasn't decided what the penalty might be yet. Giving Nicholas McPherson time to think about his actions.
He's in the naughty corner with the sound of it.
Yeah, you go sit on the naughty stool and think about what you've done. So race win there went to Alex Sprague, as did the first race this evening for the Tier 1 competitors. So we're going to have a change. The Tier 2 competitors will get back in the car and they will have another qualifying session before they have 2 more sprint races. Convince the owner to go to IndyCar and each team with the pains. Because it's sort of like the rock and hop, but it's with classic cars. But people still get I think it might be a good idea. Yeah, well, if the ladies don't go, suggesting we try and talk Owen to we're on the pitch and we all go down, three of us go down the Trumpy would be the coming plan. And if he doesn't like that plan, we could have BBC. All right, another 8-minute qualifying session for the Tier 2 competitors. Let's see who can do the business. From the early races, Dylan Dalrymple was the fastest runner there in the number 31 Brembo Falcon. Lincoln Brunton was doing pretty well for himself in the Coca-Cola machine as our guest driver this evening.
Yeah, he was. Had a good race and actually had a pretty reasonable qualifying too. I think he qualified in P4.
And so far this evening it's been the Tier 1 drivers that have had to call into the pits and throw a new crate motor in the hole. Let's see what the Tier 2 competitors can do.
So
good race win there for Paul Lancaster in race 2.
Purple sector for him straight out of the box. As I said earlier, he seems to be pretty good on the cold tyres. So yes, he'll be very happy with that win in that last race. Let's see how he goes this time.
So Lincoln Brunton there in the Coca-Cola machine, just trying to get a little bit of a temperature in his tyres in the V8 Holden. Of course, ideally you don't want to be racing other drivers while you're trying to do a qualifying lap.
No.
But the drivers don't always listen, do they, B2?
No, and it's not like it's a field of 30-odd 2K Cup cars either. There should be plenty of space.
Yeah. Eight drivers on a 4K circuit. You think they'll be able to find some room? Here we go through the tight right-hand hairpin. Downhill. Just in the end of the hard braking zone. That'd be quite entertaining to go through in your V8 Ute under full song. So 1:59 just for the opening lap for Dylan Dalrymple. Now we can see what he do when he's up to speed. Oh, just using a little bit of the grass as they go over the brow. So we've got Paul Lancaster, Adam Bell, Jimmy Carroll, Paul Artu. Just watching Lincoln Brunton there roll through.
Yet to post the time, Lincoln. Same with Dallas Redhead. Plenty of purple sectors appearing on the screen. Oh, there's someone off out into the grass there. That's the Greg Murphy liveried Kmart machine. So, fastest first sector for Adam Bell, fastest second for Dylan Dalrymple. The HOSS Motorsport Ute just out in the grass once again.
I think that HOSS Motorsport Ute might need a priest to do an exorcism this evening, I think. We're getting plenty of off-road action out of it from both drivers. So, fastest first sector for Adam Bell, fastest second sector for Dylan Dalrymple. There he goes in the number 31 Brembo machine. Just getting a little bit wayward going through the very tight right-hand hairpin. See if it impacts on his lap time. Fastest for the Tier 2 competitors. Purples in sectors 2 and 3. Fastest first sector 2, Adam Bell. Oh, Jimmy Carroll getting a little bit loose in the Jim Beam bonded machine. Touches the Armco on the inside and then gets in the way of Paul Artu in the Valvoline Ute.
Another fastest first sector for Dylan Dalrymple. Already posting a pretty handy time.
So 3.5 minutes left to go in the qualifying session for our Tier 2 competitors, second half of the evening. They'll be qualifying for their third race this evening, which will be a grid start, and then their fourth sprint race for the Tier 2 drivers will be a reverse grid affair. Another 6 laps. What can Dylan Dalrymple do? Tier 2 series leader in the Brembo Falcon. Through the right-hander he goes. Nice tight line. Through the left-hander. Up on the under the overbridge in the Brembo Falcon. 2 purple sectors so far. Paul Lancaster second fastest in the South Canterbury removals machine. He's on a 1:47.9. 1.4 seconds in arrears. There goes Paul Lancaster, just getting a little bit loose as he slows down to go through the right-hand hairpin.
Another faster lap for Dylan Dalrymple. 145s now, 145.328. Lincoln Brunton up into second position. So a good lap from him at a 147. That pushes Paul Lancaster back to third at this point in time.
Yeah, over 2 minutes left to go in the second qualifying session this evening for the Tier 2 competitors. There's Dallas Redhead giving Ernie and Elmo a great ride once again in the number 26 Gatorade machine. There's James Swaney in the HOSS Falcon. Has done a 2:24. What can he do on a good lap? There goes Dylan Dalrymple. Another purple sector 1. What can Dylan do? With just under a minute and a half left on the clock. Getting a little bit loose, but keeps the boot up it. Uphill under the overbridge once again.
Just a wee correction there.
So Lincoln Brunton still P2, Adam Bell P3 in the qualifying session. Let's push Paul Lancaster back to fourth. What's the Brembo Falcon got left in it?
So just 30 seconds left of the official qualifying time. Of course, those that are already on a hot lap will get to complete that lap.
So fastest third sector there for Lincoln Brunton, who we're riding with now in the Coca-Cola Holden. And Paul Lancaster gets a little bit out of shape. Pulls back into the path of Lincoln Brunton in the Coca-Cola Holden. And Paul Lancaster still getting a little bit wayward in the South Canterbury removals machine. On the brakes.
Getting very tail happy.
Yes. There we go. Lincoln Brunton moves to the inside, gets through cleanly. Looks like it didn't hold him up too much. Gets a little bit deep going into the right-hander. Does Lincoln Brunton, climbs the hill in the V8 Holden. So his best a 1:46.8, 1.4 seconds off the qualifying time of Dylan Dalrymple.
So we're in overtime now of this qualifying session.
So James Swaney P3, Adam Bell 4, Paul Lancaster being pushed back to 5th. Dallas Redhead with Elmo and the Cookie Monster, he's sitting on 6th. Oh, Lincoln Brunton, that's going to throw this lap away. Paul Artu in the Valvoline Holden. 7th fastest, a 1:49.2. Can he pull something out of the box and move further up the field?
Goes faster, but it doesn't alter his position on the grid.
Yeah, 1/10 off Dallas Redhead is Paul Artu.
So I think we're all done.
So, getting ready to roll. It's going to be Dylan Dalrymple, Lincoln Brunton on the front row. Then James Swaney, Adam Bell, Paul Lancaster, Dallas Redhead in the third row. Paul Artu, Jimmy Carroll there at the back of the field. Waiting for the Christmas trees to light up. And then we'll be away. Another 6-lap sprint race for the Tier 2 field. Third race for them this evening coming at you from Mont Tremblant. 130 k's north of Montreal. Lights are on. And away we go. Oh, slow start there from the Kmart Holden off the second row of the grid. Good launch from Lincoln Brunton. He's got the Coca-Cola machine sitting on the inside of the corner going through the right-hander, but it looks like James Swaney's been able to go around the outside in the HOSS Falcon. Paul Lancaster there sitting in P4 in the South Canterbury removals machine. Adam Bell P5 in the Kmart Holden. Clean start so far for the Tier 2 field. Dylan Dalrymple though, he's easing away from the field already. We can see him up the road there in the Brembo Falcon. To the right-hander goes the field on the first lap of 6. Who's that in the background there? That's Paul Artu and Dallas Redhead. Getting a little bit racy. Dallas Redhead goes to the outside of the circuit. That pushes him back to P8. Latu and Carroll go through in the Valvoline and Jim Beam bonded machines.
This all managed to stay pretty clean this time around.
Yeah, Lincoln Brunton makes a move under brakes into the right-hander. Johnny Small manages to hang on around the outside in the HOSS Falcon. Lincoln Brunton gets out into the scenery.
Lancaster taking a bit of evasive action there.
Managed to hold on to it though, just probably very lucky at the part of the circuit that happened at.
Yep.
Paul Lancaster sitting on the inside of the hairpin. Can he pull off a manoeuvre? Lincoln Brunton's going to have the inside for the next left-hander though in the Coca-Cola Holden.
Well, if Lancaster can stick beside him, this is a repeat of, yeah, there he goes, of that last race where we had half a dozen corners. They just stuck beside each other.
Adam Bell there just in the Kmart machine, always getting a little bit light coming over the brow. And just to hold on to it. And there's Paul Artu in the Bell.
Oh, Lancaster gets a tap. Manages to hold on to it.
Manages to keep the language under control. Also does Paul Lancaster in the South Canterbury Removals Falcon. Good battle though between these four competitors. Paul Lancaster in P3, Lincoln Brunton P4, Adam Bell riding on board with Paul Artu in the Valvoline Holden. Lincoln Brunton just hanging around the outside there, a little bit crossed up. Goes Adam Bell in the Kmart machine. That's going to cost him a little bit of drive climbing the hill. He's going to keep in P5 for now. So very close to Jimmy Carroll, Dallas Redhead at the back of the field in 7th and 8th. But Dylan Dalrymple driving away from James Swaney. Then 3 seconds further back from James Swaney to this racing pack. Paul Lancaster, Lincoln Brunton, Adam Bell, Paul Artu. He's just dropping away from Adam Bell a little bit now. Just over a second in arrears. Into the tight right-hand hairpin they go. Lincoln Brunton using all the circuit and a little bit more, so a 1:45.5 for Dylan Dalrymple. He starts lap 3 in the Brembo machine. James Swaney still sitting P2 in the HOSS Falcon. Paul Lancaster is leading this racing pack, with Lincoln Brunt and Adam Bell having a bit of a battle there.
Yeah.
P2 looks like Paul Lancaster's just able to drive away a wee bit there in the South Canterbury Removals Falcon.
Well, with these two having that battle, that's allowing that to happen. They'll slow each other down.
Yeah, Paul Artu's dropped off the pack there in the Valvoline Holden. We can see him in the back of shot.
You can see just on the leaderboard there, Jimmy Carroll's dropped to the rear of the field. Dallas Redhead getting a position up over him, up into 7th.
Jimmy Carroll must have had a moment. He's now 16 seconds in arrears of Dallas Redhead.
This battle still raging between
Young Brunton and Adam Bell. Of course, a school night there for young Lincoln Brunton, as it is for Alex Sprague. So uphill they go through the left-hander. Just see James Sweeney out of shot there in the HOSS machine. Paul Lancaster closes up.
Yeah.
A number of car lengths there under brakes into the hairpin, although he does get a little bit loose coming out, which takes the pressure off James Sweeney in the HOSS Falcon. Looking out over the tough deck now, we can see Lancaster, Brunton, Adam Bell, Paul Artu. So there goes Lincoln Brunton behind Paul Lancaster. Looks like Adam Bell's just riding through the inside there on the right-hander.
Let's just see if he sticks in there. Is there going to be a bit of contact?
There is. So Lincoln Brunton has the insider for the next left-hander, though. Manages to push Adam Bell behind him in the number 51 Kmart Holden. And all this has taken the pressure off Paul Lancaster, allowing him to concentrate on catching the HOSS machine of James Swaney, which is up the road in P2. You can see him in shot there. But while all this is happening, Dylan Dalrymple out to an 8-second lead now in the Brembo Falcon. He's on lap 4 of 6.
Lincoln Brunton just looking at getting up onto the bumper of Paul Lancaster.
He's just gapped Adam Bell a wee bit there, has Lincoln Brunton, all a little bit sideways. Manages to keep hold of the Coca-Cola Holden though.
Paul Lancaster getting a little sideways there. That's just allowed that gap to close up a little more. Lincoln Brunton now trying to hunt down Paul Lancaster. Lancaster runs pretty wide, two very different lines there. And that gap's just closed up a little more, down to about a ute length.
So Dylan Dalrymple, race leader, holding an 8-second lead over James Swaney.
Oh, he's going to go around the outside, or at least make an effort, but he's gone too wide. Scrubbed all the speed off. But Brunton.
Perhaps given Adam Bell an opportunity there to get right on the bumper of Lincoln Brunton. Gives Lincoln plenty to think about all over the mirrors. Left and right goes Adam Bell in the number 50, well it's number 15 I should say, Kmart Holden Ute. So Paul Lancaster holding the tight line going through the right-hander. Adam Bell just trying to go through the inside of Lincoln Brunton. Can't pull off a manoeuvre though. Over the brow they go. Utes get light. So race leader Dylan Dalrymple, he's on lap 5 of 6. Just focusing on this battle for 3rd and 4th. Paul Lancaster and Lincoln Brunton.
Brunton right up on his tail now, just trying to force a mistake from Paul Lancaster.
So, second, third and fourth all in the 147s.
Paul Latu making up a spot into 5th position there over Adam Bell. Down the pack a little further behind this sort of battle pack.
Okay, 1 lap left to go for the Tier 2 field. So there is Adam Bell dropping through the pack. Oh, the Jim Beam bonded machine.
Jimmy Carroll taking the scenic route.
Yeah.
And then
undoing
himself. So here we are with James Swaney cutting a bit of a lonely figure in 2nd position. Back to Paul Lancaster, who's still holding off Lincoln Brunton at this point in time. Doing a good job of it.
So Lincoln's not giving up.
Well, they just outbraked himself a little there, I think. Ran wide, lost a bit of time.
So there we go, yeah, at the front of the Coca-Cola Holden. Oh, don't tap him. Good evasive action there from Lincoln Brunton. Oh, can he get through the inside climbing the hill? No, he cannot.
He's certainly trying hard, but we all know that Paul Lancaster can make those utes very wide for a good defensive driver when he needs to be.
Doing all right for a tradie that regularly gets around town on his 4-wheel drive Hilux. Or high ace, I should say. Yeah, the high ace. Oh,
well, here we go.
Yeah, trying to get through the inside of the hairpin, but Paul's going to have the inside for the left-hander. Oh, a bit of a nudge there, but Lincoln Brunton pulls off the pass.
And they're both out in the grass.
So there's Adam Bell in the 15 Kmart machine. Through the hairpin he goes. We can see Dallas Redhead behind him. But Jimmy Carroll way back down the field in the Jim Beam bonded machine.
So it will be Dylan Dalrymple once again. James Swaney, Lincoln Brunton, Paul Lancaster, Paul Latu, Adam Bell, Dallas Redhead, and Jimmy Carroll to bring up the rear of the field.
Yeah, very lonely figure there in the Jim Beam bonded machine. So Dylan Dalrymple makes it 2 out of 3 this evening for the Tier 2 competitors. So that means he's going to be starting off the back of the grid for the 4th race of this evening for the Tier 2 field. Can he get through to take a win? We will have to wait and see. So Dylan Dalrymple, James Swaney starting off the back of the grid. On the front row we're going to have Jimmy Carroll and Dallas Redhead.
Just wait.
Adam Bell, Paul Latu, Paul Lancaster, Lincoln Brunton.
Just waiting on the lights.
Here we go. Lights on. And lights off, away we go. Good launch there from Lincoln Brunton in the Coca-Cola machine. Away they go. Dallas Redhead though in the Gatorade Falcon. He's going to have the inside line, take the lead going through the right-hander, lead the field away.
Whoa, we've got to look. It's going to run tight. Here we go.
Oh, some colourful language there from one of our competitors. He got assisted out into the scenery. Push back to P7 is Paul Lancaster on the South Canterbury Removals Ford Falcon. Oh, Jimmy Carroll.
Oh, again.
That looks a little bit sickly. It does, the Jim Beam bonded Falcon.
Hasn't had much luck tonight.
No. But Dallas Redhead leading Adam Bell, Paul Latu at the front of the field. And we go back to Lincoln Brunton, James Swaney.
Lincoln Brunton already up 3 spots. Dylan Dalrymple up 4.
Oh, Paul Lancaster just having another moment there in the background of the shot. looking at Adam Bell trying to make his way past the number 26 Gatorade Ford Falcon. Up the hill, under the overbridge they go. Once again, riding the left-hand front wheels on the ripple strip through the right-hander.
Poolatu managing to keep on the back of these two as well. Oh, Dallas Redhead has gone around on his own. And that's actually allowed Poolatu to make his way up to the head of the field.
Yeah, Adam Bell.
Past Adam Bell.
Took some evasive action but had to take his foot out of it and let Poolatu in the Valvoline Holden through to P1. Lincoln Brunton's now gone up to P3 in the Coca-Cola Holden. Gets light over the brow. Into the braking zone they go. We can just see Dylan Dalrymple there. He's had 2 wins from 3 this evening for the Tier 2 competitors.
Poolatu getting tally there. Adam Bell on the correct side of the track to make a move at the moment. Looks like he might not put the mockers on him. He's gone out into the grass and actually lost another position there. That's allowed Lincoln Brunton to get up into the back of Poolatu.
Also Dylan Dalrymple. He's watching intently, just sitting on the inside there, going through the right-hander. Oh, he's going to get P3 because Adam Bell looped it round.
Oh, he's going to take out the HOSS machine as well.
No, James Swaney.
Cry of despair in the background.
So now, out of all that, Lincoln Brunton's now challenging the leader and takes the lead in the Coca-Cola.
Oh, and he gets a bit of a punt from Poolatu.
Yeah, still has the inside line though, going through the left-hander, does young Lincoln Brunton. So he's going to lead them up the hill, under the overbridge.
Plenty going on in this race.
Yeah, so James Swaney, Paul Lancaster now back in 4th and 5th. So Dylan Dalrymple, just loses a bit of momentum there, very tight line in the tight right-hander. So 149.3 for young Lincoln Brunton in the Coca-Cola Holden.
Just looking at James Swaney there at the moment. That's Paul Lancaster tucked in behind him. Getting all sideways over the top of that brow.
Focusing on the battle for the lead. Lincoln Brunton, Poolatu. Now looking at the shot, looking forward out of the Brembo Falcon, being piloted by Tier 2 Series leader Dylan Dalrymple. So the dice for these two is just allowing Lincoln Brunton to ease out a little bit of a gap there. He's 1.1 seconds up the road from Poolatu in the Valvoline Holden. Outbraked himself there a little bit, Lincoln Brunton. And Poolatu might have given a little bit much jandle coming out of that right-hander.
I can see him out the corner of my eye. She's very busy on the tiller.
All right. Down the straight they go into the braking zone. Right-hander. Dylan Dalrymple can't pull off a manoeuvre there.
It's not quite close enough to do anything.
Poolatu and the Valvoline Holden doing a good job right now, holding on to P2.
Looks like Dallas Redhead's had a moment down the back of the field. Jimmy Carroll up into 7th.
There's James Swaney. He's trying to hunt down P4 Paul Lancaster in the South Canterbury Removals Falcon.
Who runs wide.
Right there, yes, going through the right-hand hairpin. That's allowed James Swaney to pull up 3 or 4 ute lengths. Okay, 147.6, another fastest lap of this race for Lincoln Brunton in the Coca-Cola Holden. Oh, Dylan Dalrymple goes through, leaves Poolatu out to dry. Looks like Poolatu might have a mechanical.
He's got a penalty by the sounds of it.
So Dylan Dalrymple goes through to P2. He's now going to be chasing down the young charger Lincoln Brunton in the Coca-Cola Holden.
Into lap 4 out of 6 as well. He's got a couple of laps up his sleeve to try and make something happen.
So that allows Paul Lancaster, James Swaney up to P3 and 4, just following the battle with these two hard chargers now in the Falcon Utes. A little bit loose there from James Swaney coming onto the uphill straight. So what's Lancaster on? A 1:48.9 on the last lap, 1:49.8 for James Swaney. At a 1:47.6 for Lincoln Brunton in the Coca-Cola Holden, leading this race by a good second and a half over Dylan Dalrymple. There goes Dylan Dalrymple on the chase in the Brembo Falcon, doing his best to try and make it 3 from 4 races this evening for the Tier 2 competitors.
That gap closing too, down to 0.7 of a second now.
Yeah, 1:46.4, fastest lap of this race to second place man Dylan Dalrymple in the Brembo Falcon. Oh,
And here he goes. He's going to make that move up the inside. Not quite close enough to make anything stick.
yeah. Lincoln Brunton almost gave him a written
Oh, we've got Paul
invitation
Lancaster
there. Oh,
out having a look at the scantily clad ladies behind the arm code.
loops it round again, trying to get it back onto the circuit. Oh, crossed up there for Dylan Dalrymple as he's on the charge. Lincoln Brunton's on lap 5 of 6 for the Tier 2 field, race 4 for them this evening. Lincoln just managing to keep that Holden Ute out in front. So coming into the braking zone, no.
Although he ran pretty wide there, did
did.
young Lincoln. Still manages to keep the position.
Going to have the inside line though, climbing the hill.
Paul Latu.
Yeah, right for the right-hander.
Paul Latu making his way up past James Swaney as well.
He's made
After that penalty.
He's made up 2 positions there, has Paul Latu. Can Dylan? Oh, he gets a bit close into the hairpin. Lincoln's going to have the inside line for the left-hander. However, his speed's been compromised coming out of the hairpin. Can
Watch for the
Dylan
switch.
Yeah, take advantage of that. Lincoln's going to have the inside line though through the right-hander. But Dylan Dalrymple drives around the outside of Lincoln Brunton. Good passing manoeuvre there from the Brembo Falcon. Lincoln Brunton's hanging with them, gets a little bit loose there in the Coca-Cola Holden. Just 2 tenths on the last lap. Race 4 of 4 for the Tier 2 competitors. Coming at you from HOSS in the Royal Arcade Timaru. Dylan Dalrymple might make it 3 out of 4, B2.
It's looking that way, isn't it?
Time to take bribes. We could put the commentator's curse on him.
We'll repeat his name over and over and over again just
That's
to mix
right.
it up a bit.
Just to mix it up a bit. So he's got the lead out to 8 tenths, having got past Lincoln Brunton. Still a good effort though from young Lincoln in the Coca-Cola machine. A guest driver this evening for the Tier 2 field.
He has driven well, very well.
So Dylan Dalrymple just getting a little bit taily there in the Brembo Falcon. Up the hill under the overbridge they go. So Paul Latu's managed to get the Valvoline machine back up to P3 after having the penalty earlier on. He was running in P2.
Well, that's a good drive from him actually.
Yeah, good comeback. James Swaney sitting P4 on the HOSS Ford Falcon. Adam Bell in the Kmart machine sitting P5. Paul Lancaster P6. There goes Paul Latu.
And once again, it will be Dylan Dalrymple taking line honours, followed by Lincoln Brunton very closely, and Paul Latu. Good drive from him, up a couple of spots to take third after that penalty. Adam Bell coming in 4th. James Swaney 5th.
So fastest lap of the race there goes to 4th place man Adam Bell and the number 15 Kmart Holden. 146.137 on the last lap.
He's done a Peter Brock.
Yeah, Dallas Redhead crosses the line. Oh, what's Paul Lancaster done? Come on!
I don't think he's going to make it.
What happened, Mr. Lancaster? Another motor.
Another crate motor required.
Oh, so Paul Lancaster blew it up on the last lap. So they're blaming that particular sim.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're still blaming it.
Don't know. It's a poor tradie that blames his tools, B2.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say that.
As a tradie, you didn't.
As a tradie, I didn't.
You didn't think it was your place to. Okay, so 3 from 4 this evening for Dylan Dalrymple. And as you said, great drive for our guest driver this evening, Lincoln Brunton in the Coca-Cola machine. He brings it home P2. He made up 5 places on the grid. And Paul Latu, good comeback.
Was a good comeback after that penalty, yeah.
So, thank you very much, TL2 competitors. So, Mr. Lancaster, what did you think of that? Other than blowing up your motor, we'll put that bit aside.
You had enough smoke for a week, Brendan.
Enough smoke?
Yeah, no, a good track. Like, I only did half dozen laps, I suppose, before this evening. And very good track indeed. But once again, just one mistake, and that's all it takes to go from 3rd to last.
So was that a missed gear change? What did you do?
No, just a wee bit wide, got a couple of wheels out in the grass. And
over-revved it?
No, coming back from there. And then she's a bit hard to try and get back on the track from the gravel trap, so takes a bit of getting out of there. But however, good racing tonight from the Tier 2 guys.
And you had a race win earlier on, that was a good result.
Yeah, you don't have to be the fastest, but just, got to be a bit smart when it comes to defence. That's right. And look forward to another good battle here in the Tier 1s there. Billy Manson, of course, got a wee bit frustrated there in that last race, but did finish 2nd. So in the end, not too bad. Good points for him for the round. But no, good track here, Brendan, at Mont Tremblant, or however you pronounce it.
Mont Tremblant.
Sounds like a rather fancy wine. Something that you'd be having with the estate, Brendan. But however, we're back into qualifying for the Tier 1 for their 2nd round of racing this evening. Race 3 of 4.
As it happens, going out for tea on the dinner tram this Friday night. We'll be having a wine with our meals. I'm not normally a wine drinker, so might have to ask if they've got airsick bags on board on the dinner tram. We'll see how that pans out.
Yeah, I hope that works out well for you, Brendan. You see these two jostling for a bit of space here in qualifying, and
oh well,
Billy
like
going for a reset, so I'm not too sure whether he's done a gearbox or something there, but he's going for a reset. Hopefully he'll get a lap in. Still 6.5 minutes left to go in qualifying. And at the moment, no one has got a time up. Billy there just coming back out of the pits. You can come back in and reset your settings. All the settings are the same. Getting a wee bit out of shape there, Mitch Hamilton and the South Canterbury removals. Being the super sub tonight for Shane Edgar, who hasn't showed up. So Alex Sprague is the man they will be chasing down on the 143s. Brendan, I don't know how the hell he does it, but just got that X factor when it comes to getting a wee bit more out of the vehicle, no matter what he's driving. And Mitch Hamilton there all around the place. This is just qualifying. And like I say, Brendan, you either got to get out there in front to get that clear air, or you've got to sit back in the pits for 30 odd seconds and let everyone get out in front of you. And
B2 and I were talking about that earlier this evening. The track's over 4 kilometres long, and there's only 8 vehicles out there. So you think you could find some space?
You think you could, yeah. Everyone's in a bit of a hurry, a bit of a panic. Bit of a panic area.
Okay, so there is pace setter Alex Sprague in the Milwaukee Ford Falcon, number 56.
Just takes one mistake though and can ruin your night quite easily. So no one yet to post a competitive time.
Yep. 2 purple sectors for Alex Sprague in the number 56 machine. So up the hill, under the overbridge he goes. Just slight bit of tail wagging there from the Milwaukee Falcon, but Alex looks like he's got it all under control.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to hurt him any.
No. So through the right-hand hairpin. Nice little downhill number there at Mont Tremblant.
Really got the pronunciation of that down pat, Brendan. After all that practice during the night.
That's right, it sounds pretty classy, doesn't it? So that is a 1:43.6 for young Alex Sprague.
So right up on the pace yet again, within a couple of tenths of his fastest time.
I think he did a 1:43.5 in the race earlier this evening. So Andrew Bruce, P2 on the leaderboard, 1.8 seconds back from young Alex Sprague. There's Billy Manson. He's had a good evening in the Victoria Bitter Machine, although in saying that, commentators curse. I manages to keep the gentle up it though. Hangs it out going around the big right-hander. Up the hill he goes.
Another purple first sector for Alex Sprague. Out in the clear air. So it's just watching him from inside the cab. It's nice and smooth, not much work on the steering wheel. Just feathers that throttle.
Using all the track and a little bit more is Alex Sprague in the Milwaukee Falcon.
Oh, I think he's backed out of that one.
Yeah.
Yep. Once again, put the mockers on him.
Yeah, although his time's not under any pressure with 2.5 odd minutes left to go in the second qualifying session for the Tier 1 field. So once again, they will have a 6-lap grid race and then a 6-lap reverse grid race to finish the night down at HOSS in the Royal Arcade Timaru. Do make some time to come on down here. They've got circuits from all over the world, all sorts of machines for you to try out. They've also got rally cars from the Humble Escort all the way through to the Group B Monsters. There was a bit of footage on Facebook over the last week or two with a couple of clowns getting around Levels Raceway in a Audi Sport Quattro.
In the wet.
Yeah, I must say it did sound quite fruity.
So Alex Sprague, the man out in front, at 1:43.6. He's got 1.5 seconds over Braden Carroll, so we're still yet to see Billy Manson get up there. Andrew Bruce sitting there in third. And Nick McPherson, Morgan Dorr, Johnny Small, and the old super sub Mitch Hamilton in for Shane Edgar tonight in the South Canterbury Removals Ute. So, no, he's got it home and hose at the moment, Alex. He'd park it up and be pretty happy with that. A 43.6.
Yeah, he did back out of the last lap that he was on there. Things got a bit out of shape, so he just backed out of it. He knows he's got a bit of time up his sleeve.
A minute 9 left in the session, so they should all come round and get another one in after this one. Here goes Billy Manson, sitting there in fourth at the moment. Let's see what he does now when he goes across that line. And doesn't go any faster. Stays fourth, but he's on his last hot lap. So we see how he goes, but a bit of clear air in front of him. Alex Sprague through again. 45 that time, so don't know what he's mucking around out of the 45. Look at that big drift coming over the top of the hill, and he drops way down here in a very tricky braking area into the next turn here. Sort of braking halfway around that corner, and the weight going off to the left can pull you out wide. So
it must get pretty light over the top of that brow.
Certainly do. You just got to watch the accelerator. So Milwaukee entry there of Alex Sprague. Just turned 16, the young chap, and definitely one to look out for. Just 2 talking to the old super spy Mark Manson, saying that Alex had a run in a Formula Ford at the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
So it'd be interesting to talk to him about that, see how he went. No doubt he's right on the money. Andrew Bruce second fastest, a 45.0. Braden Carroll third. Billy Manson still sitting there fourth, gone green in the middle sector. And at the end of the tail there, Mitch Hamilton, a 47.8. Got a bit of work to do there in the South Canterbury removals ute. There goes Andrew Bruce. Had a reasonably strong night, getting a wee bit out of shape as he come over the ripple strip there, and it carries on through to the next corner. And then up over the top here, this is where the ute gets a wee bit light too, as you just come up over the top there. And then she's third, up to fourth, up the hill, and then down to second, hard on the brakes down to second, and a bit hard to see the apex there. You don't really see it till you're really right on it.
You're almost a bit blind.
And then you've got to drop yourself down into it. So Billy Manson up to second, a 44.7. So that's a good time from him. Andrew Bruce still sitting there third. Here goes Morgan Dorr from seventh. What can he do? Jumps up to sixth, the 45.9. Tucked in behind him, it's Johnny Small, but he doesn't go any quicker, stays fifth. And Braden Carroll goes through, jumps up to third. So good stuff, fourth I should say. So good stuff there. On the pole it's going to be Alex Sprague from Billy Manson in the front row, then Carroll and Bruce, Small and Dorr, then McPherson and Hamilton off the back row of the grid for the third race of the night, is it? Fourth.
Third race for
the Tier 2, Tier 1 I should say.
So who can hook it up off the line and get away? Lights are on.
Pretty hard to get off the line, these things. You can really light the rear tyres up. You want to hook second as quick as you can. Away they go. Good start from everybody as they head down the hill through this very fast right-hander. And then you want to look for the apex as you go over the top here. There's a double apex there as Sprague will lead them from Manson. Here goes Bruce up the inside of Braden Carroll trying to take that third place. They come down back into the right-hand drop. Then she's hard on the brakes. Down to about third here. Some will pick second. And cold tyres, we've got to be very gingerly through there. As we see there that
Mitch Hamilton goes round.
Yes, trying to make a move there on Nick McPherson. And then around he goes, but it's going to be Sprague leads from Manson. Then Carroll under some pressure here from Andrew Bruce as they come up the hill to go through the quite quick right-hander here. Fourth gear. A bit of a touch between the two of them, but Andrew Bruce has got his nose in front as they head down the straight again towards a very heavy braking zone here, down to about third gear. And big slide on by Andrew Bruce. He's done that all himself. He'll probably lose a bit of momentum as he tries to carry it round the hill. These other two should have a run on him. She's flat out up here fourth, and then over the top into fifth. And you hook sixth gear as you get down there. They get all over them. Johnny Small will try and come down the inside. Carroll might try and go around the outside, but in fact it's a reasonably good recovery there as Small has a wee dive up the inside through the right-hander down the hill, then back through the left-hander. So Johnny Small got the job done in the end, and Bruce now back to fourth place as they come up over the hill, down to about third, maybe second. Run up the hill to the hairpin. Got to be very defensive as you come up into here. You'll see Johnny Small, he should come over right and to play defence, and that's what he does. Andrew Bruce gives him a wee kick and around he goes, does he? Yes, it's bound to be a penalty, and gives him another whack on the way through just for good measure. And here comes, is it Morgan Dorr in the Gatorade entry? He's trying to make some hay as the sun is shining. Andrew Bruce now all the way back down there to fourth place, coming under some pressure from Morgan Dorr as they go over the hill, both them sideways. Dorr getting out of shape, Bruce out in the grass, but they both managed to keep it back on the island as they come back into the right-hander, down to about third, around this left-hander. Get it straight, then she's third into fourth, was actually hooking fifth just halfway round this corner, and down wee short straight here, keep left and then bring her right over right. Great wee section of track through here, downhill. Left-hander, another wee straight and down to a heavy braking zone. And having a look, Nick McPherson on Morgan Dorr trying to get that space back. And Johnny Small trying to make amends for the mistake previous. Oh, getting a wee bit out of shape at the HOSS entry. Into the wall he goes, Johnny Small. Got it all crossed up. Oh, collects Mitch Hamilton on the way through. And she's argy-bargy. She'll be sore nutsacks for sure after that with the old 6-point harness. And he won't like that too much at all as Morgan Dorr takes the grass. He's looking in his mirrors too much. He's got his brother-in-law looking in the back mirror, I think, or someone he knows anyway, Nick McPherson. Up over the hill, getting a wee bit out of shape, Morgan Dorr. Good wee battle going on between these two. So Mitch Hamilton, Johnny Small, he hasn't had a good night tonight. He's been up running in fairly high spot, and then the old red mist comes in and around she goes. Just takes that one mistake, Brendan, and you're in the wall. Looks like perhaps Mitch Hamilton in a bit of trouble in the background there. So Andrew Bruce running fourth. Braden Carroll, good run again for him tonight in the Kmart Racing Holden. Oh, getting sideways Billy Manson. Oh, loses it. Overcorrection out in the grass, backwards into the wall, but he should come back on the track in second place still. He was out in front enough that you can just see Braden Carroll coming up in the background, but he'll have a bit of crap on his tyres. It takes a few corners to get them back up to speed. Through the right-hand corner. You see if Braden Carroll's got a run on him now as they come down the straight. He'll go defensive, Billy Manson. Does he? No, he stays left and then comes across defensive. And it could compromise his entry, but getting a wee bit out of shape, Carroll, as he tries to get the power down nice and early. Battle's not over in the background there. You'll see the fastest ringer at HOSS, and that's Andrew Bruce, sitting there in fourth place. He'll be getting all worked up back there, no doubt. Here goes Mitch Hamilton, putting a move on Nick McPherson, so making a bit of a comeback there. Mitch Hamilton in sixth place, filling in for Shane Egger tonight. Down the straight. I'll go back to Morgan Dorr there. You see he's cleared out a wee bit now on Nick McPherson. Battles on for second though between Manson and Carroll. Carroll all over the back of him. Forget about Sprague, he's long gone. 43.6 his last lap. So he's not letting up there. There's a nasty wee bump there. You'll see the arse end of the Utes just jump up and down a bit halfway down that hill, and there's quite a nasty wee drop off there. As we go down the straight through the very fast right-hander over the top of the hill. Rear gets very light over here. You'll see them jump a wee bit, and then heavy braking zone around the corner, so you've got to be very careful there. But Carroll still all over the back of Manson through the left-hander. We've seen the Manson have that spin there a lap or two ago, which has put him back into the clutches of Carroll. He was up there challenging Sprague a little bit to a certain extent, but now coming under pressure from Carroll as they come back down through the right-hand, left-hand combination. Very fast corner through there, but not many places to actually pass here. If the guy in front of you is defensive, it's very hard to try and get through. As you see Manson in the VB bidder number 24. He's got a big mirror full of Kmart Racing in the form of Braden Carroll sitting there in third place. Of course, Braden Carroll won the Tier 2 championship last year by a big margin. He could have sat out the last round and probably still won. And good to see him back once again in the Tier 2 championship, Tier 1 championship this year, which should be a standard thing. If you win Tier 2, you should jump up to Tier 1. At the moment, Alec, what's that? Who was? Yeah, right, he was too, yeah. So they were teammates last year, Billy Rowley just informing me. Billy Carroll and, Braden Carroll and Billy Manson. So down the straight again, Manson just opened up a bit of a gap now, back to Braden Carroll. Andrew Bruce 3 seconds further back there in fourth place. Oh, out in the grass, Braden Carroll, but still holds it all together. And lost a wee bit of time once again to Billy Manson, just a second between the two of them. So just a lap and a half to go for the Tier 1s for race 3 for the evening. Alex Sprague looking like racking up another win. through the right-hand, left-hand combination. There's our leader in the Milwaukee, number 56, Alex Sprague. As I said, just turned 16 the last week. If he knew what I was doing when I was 16, he'd get a bit of a shock, but nowhere near as quick as this young fella. Hey, James. Yeah, no, I don't know what you're talking about either. But here he goes, a nice wee slide going on. He's definitely got the hang of these Aussie Utes, or these V8 Utes, I should say. Up over the hill, bit of a slide going on. Nice and methodical, not under any pressure whatsoever. 10 seconds back to Billy Manson. And down the hill for the last time. Well, no, he's got one more to go, is he?
Yeah, on lap 5 of 6.
One to go. Looks like he's going to do another low 40-second bracket. 43.6 this lap. Don't know how he does it.
I do remember that Alex Sprague did have a miscount earlier in the season.
That's right, round 1. He was leading the race and went across the line, thought he'd finished and stopped, and everyone went flying through. And before he gathered it back up and realised he was back down to about 4th or 5th place, as Braden Carroll gets all 4 wheels out in the grass as he's trying to make up some ground on Billy Manson. Oh, Billy Manson's got a problem, is he? He's coming to a stop. He got a penalty, so you had to slow down. If you get a penalty, you've got to slow down to 35 k's or under. And that's let Andrew Bruce through as well, so back down to 4th for Billy Manson on the last lap. Could be valuable points at the end of the season for 2nd or 3rd place in the championship, because at the moment Alex Sprague looking like he's got it sewn up. Oh, he's getting all crossed up there, Billy Manson, as he's trying to get that podium spot back off Andrew Bruce with half a lap to go. Around the right-hander and then run up the hill. It'll be 3rd, 4th and 5th over the top of the hill, and then 6th. Right down to the end of the big long straight. Andrew Bruce getting a wee bit defensive. Comes back across to the right-hand side of the track. Down to about 4th or 3rd gear through here. And then look at that nice slide going on. Billy's really got the thing by the scruff of the neck. In fact, had a couple of wheels out in the grass there. Looks pretty good, but here's our race leader, Alex Sprague, and the Milwaukee 56 going to come through and take an easy race win. Race 3 of the night for Tier 1. And Braden Carroll sitting 2nd at the moment. There he is on shot there. The Kmart Racing is going to come through for a very good 2nd placing. Andrew Bruce is going to come through also for good points there in 3rd. And Billy Manson, he'll be kicking himself after that wee bit of a moment there. He had to stop for a penalty. And Morgan Dorr, 5th in the Gatorade 26. And there goes Johnny Small, who had a couple of moments there early on in the race, ended up in the wall, comes through 7th, and Mitch Hamilton looks like he's done another gearbox or something there, parked up. Hasn't been too good a night there for the South Canterbury Removals Ute. She's had highs and it's had lows, and it's had a few more lows than highs, I should say. So what do you think of that race, Brendan Nichols?
Well, once again, turning 16 hasn't slowed Alex Sprague down any. Good result there in the number 56 Milwaukee machine. Billy Manson unfortunately had that penalty in the Victoria Bitter Holden. He was looking for a very good P2, but come across the line P4 at the end of the day. Just Alex Sprague having a little bit of fun there.
Practicing his drifting.
And the number 56 Milwaukee Falcon.
It's interesting while you guys were commentating that race, I was just looking at Alex Sprague's footwork. Quite good to watch, really.
Anyway, so reverse skid race, putting Mitch Hamilton and Johnny Small on the front row, leaving Carroll and Sprague starting in P7 and 8 for the last race of the evening, and race 4 for the Tier 1 competitors. Another 6-lap sprint race at Mont Tremblant in Canada. Lights are on. And away we go. The South Kennedy removals machine just sits there on the line. That allows Johnny Small to get off to a good start in the HOSS Falcon, going through P2.
Oh, here we go.
Out in the back there, we've got some excitement already. Another punt there.
Big hit there from the Victoria Bitter entry. It's still going on.
So Billy Manson, he's long gone. Another shot.
Still pushing going on there. The South Canterbury removals holding Ute.
So Mitch Hamilton, he gets up to P5. Pushing Andrew Bruce back in the Jim Beam bonded machine. So Billy Manson, he has got running though in the Victoria Bitter Holden. But it's Johnny Small leading Nick McPherson. Alex Sprague's up to P3 already. He's having a look at P2. Just a mudguard in front there for Nick McPherson as they climb the hill. And the Paul Setter over the brow there, hooking from 5th into 6th in the V8 Utes. So Alex Sprague goes through on Nick McPherson. We haven't even finished lap 1 yet for the last race of this evening for the Tier 1 competitors. Up the hill they go under the overbridge. There is Johnny Small in the HOSS Falcon. Alex Sprague trying to get a run down the outside. Crosses over, gets in front.
He's made a number of passes around that corner tonight.
Yeah, so there we go.
Favourite hunting ground.
Doesn't even take a lap there for young Alex Sprague in the number 56 Milwaukee Falcon to take the lead. He's going to lead the line first as they cross to start lap 2 for the Tier 1 competitors. So Nick McPherson, P3, Morgan Dorr, Mitch Hamilton, Braden Kell, Andrew Bruce, Billy Manson, who had that big shunt on the first lap. He's now at the back of the field in the Victoria Bitter Holden. That'll be something for our driving standards officiator to look at a little bit later on. Billy Rowley just looking on at the corner of the screen here. Down the short straight they go into the braking zone right-hander. Johnny Small just trying to go through the inside of Nick McPherson there. He pulls off the passing manoeuvre, takes P2 in the HOSS machine. He's going to have the inside line as they go through the right-hander.
Yes, Nick McPherson there in the Brembo Brakes entry. Johnny Small just opening up a little bit of a gap there already. They're just banking up a little bit behind Nick McPherson. That's Morgan Dorr tucked in behind him in the Gatorade entry.
So we can just see Billy Manson in the Victoria Bitter machine there in the back of the shot, just trying to get back onto this racing pack.
Here we go. Bit of a kicker there for Andrew Bruce going over the ripple strip. Manages to get it done.
Yeah, Mitch Hamilton's got the inside line there for the left-hander as they go across the start-finish straight. Into the right-hander they go, the big sweeper. A little bit loose there for the Kmart machine. Manages to keep hold of it though, does Andrew Bruce.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Nick McPherson in the Brembo Ford.
Oh, and he was right up in third spot there too.
That's right, he's not there anymore. Back to P8. And as we can see, riding on board with Billy Manson, he's got onto the back of the pack after having that first lap incident. Just looking up the road there to Braden Carroll, Andrew Bruce and Mitch Hamilton all getting a little bit loose there in the South Canterbury Removals Falcon. That's going to allow Andrew Bruce through. Oh, now Andrew Bruce getting a little bit wayward. It's not over yet. Mitch Hamilton gets his nose in front, climbing the hill they are.
Oh, bit of a nudge there. Bit of how you going as he was going past. So
into the braking zone, the right-hander. once again, Rubbins Racing.
I don't think Braden Carroll's Utes going to have a straight panel on at the end of this. Yeah. Paul Lancaster just commenting that it would be nice if there was actual panel damage on them to see what they would actually look like at the end of the race. Some of them wouldn't be too pretty, I wouldn't imagine. Look like a piece of tinfoil.
Oh. Yeah. So
synchronised drifting.
that was unassisted for both drivers. So 1:43.8. Alex Sprague crosses the line. Johnny Small, Morgan Dorr, Andrew Bruce. Braden Carroll goes through. Billy Manson.
Oh, we've got the Kmart entry out in the wop-wops once again.
Oh, he's getting a little bit loose there, but we're watching Billy Manson trying to get through on Mitch Hamilton, or Mitch gets all crossed up, has to take the foot out of it. That leads Billy Manson through in the Victoria Bit of Holden. So Billy's gone from the back of the pack back up to P6. So there is Andrew Bruce just trying to go through on Morgan Dorr. He pulls that off. Morgan Dorr drifted out wide, leaving the door open for Andrew Bruce and the Jim Beam bonded machine. So you can see just up the road, that's Johnny Small in the HOSS Ford Falcon, and just appearing out of shot is young Alex Sprague in the 56 Milwaukee entry. He's got 6-second lead over Johnny Small. So there we are, Braden Carroll in the Kmart Holden. He's running in P5. He's looking out the window at Cookie Monster and Elmo on the back of Morgan Dorr's Gatorade machine. Up the hill they go, under the bridge. Through the right hand, left hand combination there. Or left right, I should say.
Field not too spread out this time around, Brendan. They're all reasonably well bunched up, and there's a bit of a nudge heading around that right corner. Billy Manson on Braden Carroll.
So Alex Sprague started lap 5 of 6, last sprint race this evening for the Tier 1 competitors. So still riding on board with Billy Manson in the Victoria Bit of Holden.
So we just saw Braden Carroll making up a position there over Morgan Dorr 10 seconds ago. So Dorr now just dropping back to 5th, and he looks like he's going to fall into the clutches of Billy Manson as well.
Yeah. Got out wide. Billy Manson didn't need a written invitation. He took the most of that opportunity. Shifts the Victoria Bit of Holden up to P5. So his next target, Braden Carroll, a couple of seconds up the road. There is Braden Carroll in the number 15 Kmart liveried Holden Ute. There's Andrew Bruce in the Jim Beam bonded machine. He's trying to hunt down Johnny Small in the HOSS Falcon. Up the hill they go.
Got that gap down to under a second now, so slowly making inroads. Still got a lap or a lap and a half to go to try and get closer around him. Maybe force that mistake.
So through the left-right combination. Through the dip. And they climb the section that leads them into the right-hand hairpin. So a 1:43.64 race leader, Alex Sprague, as he starts the final lap this evening. So he's got an 8-second lead over Johnny Small. In the HOSS machine there, we can see him having a battle on track with Andrew Bruce in the bonded Jim Beam Falcon Ute.
Andrew Bruce once again pushing hard. Got a little airborne over that brow. Now getting close to the left rear of the HOSS Motorsports Falcon Ute. Right up on the bumper now. Let's see if he can force a mistake. Johnny Small, of course, a seasoned racer in real life. Let's see if he can hold off Andrew Bruce for the rest of this lap.
So a much tighter entry line there for Johnny Small. if Andrew Bruce can pull anything off, he's going to probably need to try it around the outside. Down the straight they go into the braking zone. Right hand sweeper, tighter left hander. Up the hill under the bridge. So Andrew Bruce right on the bumper. Oh, Johnny Small gets a little bit loose. Loses a little bit of drive there in the HOSS Falcon.
Look for Andrew Bruce to, he's not quite close enough. He may do the switch, try to go up the inside, but he gets a nose up beside him.
Johnny's going to
on
have
the wrong side
for the left-hander, yeah. Out in the grass a little bit there for the HOSS machine, piloted by Johnny Small. There's Morgan Dawn, the Gatorade Ute.
At the end of the day, it's going to be Alex Sprague once again making up those 8 positions to take P1. Johnny Small in second, Andrew Bruce will take third. And it will be Braden Carroll, Billy Manson, Morgan Dorr, Mitchell Hamilton and Nick McPherson rounding out the 8. So,
good circuit there.
Yeah,
Mont Tremblant B2.
Mont Tremblant.
Mont Tremblant. So
yep, no. Not a circuit I'd really not heard of, but seen much of. So, yeah, very good circuit. And by all accounts, the drivers saying that how much they enjoyed it as well.
So Billy Rowley there just having a little bit of look at some of the action, making sure no penalties are to be dished out. Oh, I don't know. There's got to be some carnage in that shot there.
Here we go. There. We've got plenty of driving standards adjudicators in the background.
Yeah. Oh, how many times did I get hit? Oh, you got hit more than me. Whoa.
Yeah.
To be fair, Billy Manson wasn't totally in control before that incident happened.
No.
Next week, Billy.
Yeah, where are we off to next week, Billy? A good question. Billy does have a plan, I'm sure. Off to Detroit. Okay, the street circuit in Detroit next week. So another sprint round, Billy. Okay, another sprint round. So 4 races for each tier. So we look forward to catching up with you all next week. Good evening, B2.
Good evening, sir. Have a good week.
Okay.
We'll, from HOSS Motorsport, it's goodbye from me and
Goodbye from him.